Chris Akabusi is the man. You never caught him doing the nandrolone up his nose and that. Happy birthday also a day late. Luke, big up your chest each and every time. Big things. A guan indeed. Right, we're going to be talking to a man who has skateboarded. It's a bit like skateboarding, but it's skateborting. He skateboarded across Australia, mate. Is that right?
That's right, mate.
That's right, mate. Dave
How you doing?
Cornthwaite. Why on earth did you do that, mate?
Well, why not, George?
Indeed, why not? That's it. You know what? Do you know what success comes in, Dave?
Gallons?
Cans. All right? Those are the immortal words of Chris Akabusizzle.
But not cans of nandrolone?
Apparently not.
No, absolutely not.
Not those kind of cans. It's actually a play on words. It's cans as in can do rather than cannot do.
Amazing. That Akabusi chap, he's got it right, hasn't he?
He has got it right. Apparently he has got it right. Apparently he earns about £500,000 a year. So as far as I'm concerned, he's definitely got it right, the boy.
One day, George, one day.
One day indeed. Now, Board Free. That's the name of your movement, isn't it?
That's right. I'm not going to call it a movement just yet. That sounds a little bit cultish.
Let's call it a movement.
Let's refer to it as an initiative.
Okay.
Excellent. Now, you skateboarded across Australia after skateboarding from John O'Groats to Land's End, Dave.
Yeah, that's right. The UK leg, the top of Scotland to the bottom of England, that was a warm-up.
Doyle?
896 miles of sheer hell, actually. Am I allowed to say hell on the radio?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness, you haven't seen blisters like it. But it set me in good stead, and 2 months later, August last year, flew over to Perth and just basically turned into the Forrest Gump of the skateboard world and just started going east.
Because obviously I'd imagine there can't be great roads all the way.
They're not superb, George. I kind of got in touch with my feminine side and cried an awful lot. Across the desert, there's a big place called the Nullarbor Plain in between Perth and Adelaide, and it's about 2,000 miles long, just the same road. So that one road was almost twice as long as Britain. And by the time I got to the end of it, by the time I got to Adelaide, I wasn't even halfway.
Oh, that sounds horrendous. Did you have a tent on your back?
No, I didn't, actually. By the time I got out there, I was supporting 3 kids' charities, and I realised skating 50 miles a day, I was going to be too tired to actually do justice to the charity. So I opened up applications on the website, and by the time I went out to Perth, a group of 8 people had given up their jobs, their livelihoods, and come to follow this bloke on a yellow skateboard. So they carried the accommodation and that lot in the vehicles. But
so
saying that, 8 people coming out to Perth sounds a bit like a cult now, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Dave, did they have to drive behind you whilst you were skateboarding? Because that would have really done my head in. Did they have to drive at that speed? Did they go ahead, did they?
There was actually one vehicle behind me all the way,
Can you imagine driving that vehicle? That would be worse than actually skateboarding, I reckon.
Imagine my feelings when I came to the end of the day, and there they were moaning that they'd been driving all day. I was like, do you want to get on the skateboard, mate?
So, how much money did you raise?
We raised about £25,000 between these 2 charities. And now, so many people heard about the journeys. I get a few emails each week from people saying, we heard what you did, we'd quite like to do the same. So now Board Free is an initiative that advises people on how to go on long-distance skateboard journeys for charity.
Really? Are you making money out of this?
No, not at all. It's completely voluntary, all non-profit. I just advise people.
Sounding more
go
like
off,
a
do
cult.
their journeys, get some publicity, and then raise some money their way.
How much of your earnings, if you want to be in this cult, how much of your earnings do you have to give across to the cult?
There's no subscription. I'd love to say maybe 100 quid, George, if you want to do a journey.
Okay.
But I'd be lying. It's completely free. If you want to do it, you've just got to give up your job, which I suppose is 100% of your earnings.
Good point.
So where are you going to skateboard next?
I don't know, actually. I've got a few ideas in mind, but I'm trying not to be naughty and settle on a new journey. It's quite difficult to maintain friendships if you're in another country skating across the desert. So,
and I mean, tell us about the trip. You must have met some incredible people along the way. You must have met some, or did you not really stop and have time? Were you just like the little hobo, just kept moving on? Maybe tomorrow he'll stop and sit down.
It took 5 months to skate across Oz, so we met an awful lot of people You know, some real outback characters who had no idea what I was doing at all.
Like people like Donk from Crocodile Dundee. Do you remember Donk?
Exactly like Donk. Yeah, didn't meet any crocodiles though, thankfully.
What about are you in a relationship?
No.
Okay. What about ladies? That's what I want to know.
No, well, actually, I was in a relationship at the time.
Really?
But
did she drive behind
didn't really go into that. Quite an emotional thing.
Right. Okay. But what I was basically every day we dedicate the show to somebody, and today we dedicate it to a young man who's a bit fancy with the old frisbee, and he says when he's in the park he really wants to pull off a great move, maybe woo the ladies. He does the hammer, and I just wondered if there was any particular skateboarding tricks that you did along the way when you saw a group of ladies and you thought, hang on a minute, I haven't quite got my digs arranged for this evening. Maybe I pull a little ollie 360 kickflip or something, and hey presto. You and Donk are shacking up for the night.
George, I wish I was that cool. In fact, I only started skating a couple of years ago. I stepped onto my first board and it took me about 2 weeks to decide to go all Forrest Gump on life. So all I could do really on a board to try and impress the ladies was just skate really, really fast.
Okay.
In a straight line.
And did it work?
No, not at all. Can you believe it?
Really?
I think you should go from Alaska down to Argentina.
Yeah.
That's the next one. Do an entire continent. Well, I know you've done Australia, which is kind of a continent. That's Australasia, isn't it? You should do the whole of the Americas. How about that one, Dave?
Well, so I can try and woo an Inuit. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes. Yeah. They love it, the Inuits. They love a bit of skateboarding. They cannot get enough of it.
That'd be the best chat line in the world, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but you know
Waking
what?
up in an igloo.
Yeah, how did I end up here? That would be so great. I'd love that. Fish, how'd you like your fish, babe?
Any way you want it, love. I think I've been considering a journey snowboarding to the North Pole with a kite. So that may well be on the cards.
You're a really cool dude, Dave Cornthwaite. I like you. Most people just go to work every day and just, crack on and have kids and all that, get a flat and get, roped into the whole 9 to 5 thing. You know what, actually, not into all this. I'm going Inuit. I'm going to get myself an Inuit and I'm going to snowboard my way to the top of the world, basically.
Well, there's only so long you can stick with a 9 to 5, mate.
Absolutely. I have respect to you for that.
I'm not going back to it. That's
Let's find out exactly. I don't know. Do you remember who Shabba Ranks was?
Of course.
Let's find out what Shabba reckons to all of this. Shabba feels you. Shabba feels you, Dave Cornthwaite. He's a big friend of the show. We always put people to the Shabba test, and you've passed with flying colours, sir.
I appreciate that.
Johnny, any last questions for Dave?
Well, I know that Dave also does a sport called aquaskipping.
Yeah.
Which, if you think skateboarding across Australia is quite strange, Dave, just explain what aquaskipping is.
Right, aquaskipping is a human-powered hydrofoil. It looks a little bit like a bicycle, but it doesn't have wheels. It's got hydrofoil wings underneath. So basically you bounce up and down on this thing, and it skims along the surface of the water. Go on YouTube, enter aquaskipping, and there's some superb videos on there.
You're barking mad, Dave, but we love you, and we'd love to publicise any of your future trips. So please stay in touch with the show.
Will do, George. Will do.
Big up your chest each and every time, Dave Cornthwaite. Everybody. Time now for a bit of Kate Nash on 6 Music.